Welcome to episode 58 of the Reality Podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. To kick off episode 58 of the Reality Podcast, man, I was originally supposed to interview DJ Storms, but due to the fact that Storms had other obligations to do, which is okay with me, I'm going to call in somebody right now, and we're going to do a specific interview right now, so all I gotta do is call the dude. So here we go. Let me call the specific person real quick. Oh, snap. See if this guy answers.
Yellow.
TM, what's poppin', bro?
Hey, Chris, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Ain't that much, man. Not waiting for your phone.
Oh, yeah, because I was trying to, I was setting everything up right now. Right now, I'm in the middle of recording anyway, so, we're going to get everything started right now.
Awesome. Great.
So, if you guys don't know, it's TM161. He has a YouTube channel. His link will be down below in the description. You guys want to know anything about movies, anime, wrestling, stuff like that, hit up TM. His YouTube channel will be down below in the description, as well as his Twitter account. So, if you guys want to follow TM on Twitter, you guys want to follow him, his link will be down below in the description. Now, before we go over with this whole Classic Champions 2019 card, TM, I got to ask you a couple of questions, and you know I'm going to hit you with the hard ones.
Yeah, hit me up, son.
What the heck happened to your Carolina Panthers on Sunday, bruh?
Whoa, bro, I did not expect that, bro.
I don't think anybody did, bro.
I'm just going to say right now, man, I think it just, Cam was just rusty, but I'm going to make that excuse, but I'm just going to say we just lost. I mean, we had it, we had opportunity to win, and we just came up short. Like,
You guys had the lead, too, like early in the fourth quarter. You guys had the lead, too.
Exactly, like they had it. It's like just like tonight's game, they're actually playing right now, and they're like on the drive to making a comeback right now.
Oh, boy.
I'm expecting more from this defense. I'm like, where's the pass rush at? You know, we went out, we signed Gerald McCoy, we went out, you know, I expected more. We got Brian Burns first round, Greg Pitt. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, bro, but hey, it's only week one, right? It's only week one. Like, a lot can happen. It's only week one. Now, I want to ask you, like, what matchup, what got you in the wrestling? Like, what specific match did you see that got you in the wrestling to begin with?
Oh, man, that's easy, man. Hell in a Cell, Mankind versus The Undertaker.
Oh, my God.
Bro, I tell you, that night, like, I was already a Mankind fan before that, but that day made everything. Like, legit, just made, that night, Mankind became my all-time favorite wrestler.
Not only he's one of my favorites of all time, but if you really think about that Hell in a Cell match, that literally not really jumpstart the Attitude Era, but it just set the standard in the Attitude Era, if you ask me.
Sir.
I don't know how Mick Foley took not one fall, but two falls in one night.
In one night.
It was
insane,
it
man.
was ridiculous, bro. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Like that's how Foley's guard got started.
Like, did you see the documentary of Mick Foley and Undertaker?
You know what? I actually did.
It's on the network if you haven't watched it. It's on the network. It's on the network if you haven't watched it.
I actually seen it, bro. Yo, I ain't gonna front, like, I actually teared up.
I actually got goosebumps when Taker told the story on how he chokeslammed Mick Foley, and it was a good, like, 2-3 minute period that he thought that he died in that second fall, because he wasn't moving at all through the first 3 minutes. He wasn't moving at all.
Like, it was crazy, bro. Like I said, that night, like, made everything fun, but like that hit me hard, bro.
It hit everybody hard too that night. It really did.
Like, Mankind for me, like, he did a lot for me, bro. Growing up, like, in school, being bullied, bro. Like, Mankind did a lot for me, bro. Like, you have no idea, bro.
Mankind, he's one of my all-time favorites. And when it comes to Mankind, I have to think about that he did that segment with The Rock, the This Is Your Life segment. I just finished watching that earlier before I was recording, and it was one of the most funniest moments I ever seen in my entire life out of Mick Foley.
Bro, that was hilarious, bro. It's like Mick Foley was like, it was funny, but he was like being serious at the same time, and the way The Rock sold it made the whole entire segment.
It made the whole segment. It was just hilarious.
The whole segment, how The Rock reacted to it.
If there was one thing you had to change right now, on this Vince McMahon, you know, tearing up scripts and shit, and all the things that he's been doing, like not pushing certain superstars, what would you change on Vince McMahon? Like, would you get rid of him completely, or would you like have him like be more serious when it comes to these other superstars coming up from NXT?
It's a whole lot Vince McMahon got to change, bro. But I'm gonna start with this one. I'm just gonna start with the tag teams.
Yeah.
I feel like tag teams need to be resurrected on the main roster, bro. Like, you can see how NXT down there take tag teams very seriously. Every takeover, what's the first match you always see?
A tag team match.
Exactly. So, one thing they need to fix, main thing to focus on, is building this tag team divisions. And they got some tag teams.
They have tag teams. They really do it. They just don't use them.
AOP, Revival, you know, Heavy Machinery.
Which we seen on SmackDown this past Tuesday, but it wasn't really anything.
I don't know why they did.
You got, who else you got? You got the War Raiders too. You got the War Raiders.
You got the War Raiders? I'm not calling them by that phony name.
Yeah, I'm not calling them by the names either. I'm just calling the War Raiders. That's all. I just can't with this slave name. I just can't. I really cannot with this slave name.
It's awful.
Now, we're gonna go over the entire Clash of Champions card, and I'm looking at this card right now. Out of this entire 11 max card, mind you, there's no pre-show. There's no pre-show for Clash of Champions. There's no pre-show. There's no pre-show matches. I'm shocked.
Wow.
I'm shocked. Out of this entire card, I'm only interested in at least. I'm looking at the card. Kofi versus Randy. I'm looking forward to.
I'm not.
Why not?
Because SummerSlam match, bro.
Oh, SummerSlam. Yeah, SummerSlam.
Yeah, that SummerSlam match, that was it for me. Like, the build is good, but the match at SummerSlam it cut it off for me, bro.
Oh no, the build was really, really good going to SummerSlam. It was really good. It was really good.
It was very good, but the match was so disappointing.
You know what's annoying? Hearing Orton saying stupid all the time. It's just now getting annoying to me.
Yeah, it is kind of getting annoying.
For some reason. The only matchup I'm honestly looking forward to is Becky and Sasha. That's the only match I'm looking forward to.
You know what? It's funny that you said that, bro. Because I am looking forward to this match. Don't get me wrong, but the simple fact that they had that horsewoman tag team match, it kind of threw a little bit off.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on my Raw review, and people still don't get it. Why was this match even taking place?
It made no sense.
It made no sense. And then I had somebody tell me, oh, because it's so important to MSG. That has nothing to do with it. It has completely nothing to do with it.
Trying to do like MSG, like trying to make the whole night so important by throwing matches around like that.
Yeah, like they was trying to make it feel important when it really wasn't. Like they were just pushing an agenda, to be honest with you.
But that's like a kind of match that needs to be built towards. Like I feel like that match like that should be built towards, not just randomly thrown in.
Especially on a pay-per-view. If you gave me this match on a pay-per-view, yeah, I get why. But on a Monday Night Raw show that was it necessary? I don't know. I don't really know.
It makes no sense.
It made honestly just no sense. How do you feel about this Roman Reigns Eric Rowan feud? How do you feel about it?
I'm hoping that Rowan is not the end all be all. Like I want to believe that there's still something behind it, but if Rowan is the guy who's really actually officially behind it, then it's a fail.
What did you think of Rowan's promo on SmackDown? Like, how did you feel about it?
And that's one thing I'm gonna mention. Like, I'm loving how the way they're using Rowan, because you do not expect a guy like Rowan to be featured in a storyline like this. So I applaud the WWE for actually using Rowan in this type of storyline.
Yeah, I'm interested too in it.
I feel like it's going to fall flat on his face if he is the one officially behind the Roman attacks.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point there. All right, so we're gonna go over the card here. AJ versus Cedric Alexander for the United States Championship.
You know what? disqualification and pin AJ Styles on Monday, I'm gonna go with AJ Styles to retain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with AJ. I mean, it's just common logic. It's just common logic.
Yeah, it's common sense.
It's just simply logic there. Now, a pair of championships that I don't care about, and I know you don't care about it either. Like in the beginning, me and you both cared about the women's tag team titles because who held the titles? Sasha and Bayley in the very beginning.
Yep.
Now, ever since the Iconics won it at WrestleMania, nobody really cared about the titles. Nobody did.
Nope, not at all.
We got Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville for the women's tag team titles.
I believe that this is going to be Fire and Desire's night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that title reign with Bliss and Nick Cross was just to have, that lovable Bliss to be champion again. Like, I really feel like that was just a way to have that in her resume. But I'm not expecting them to have a long reign as tag team champions. So I give it to Fire and Desire.
Does Alexa stab Nikki in the cross? No, does Alexa stab Nikki Cross in the back on Sunday?
It's a very possibility. I can very well see that happening.
I can see that happening. I can really see that happening. And then again, if you have Alexa and Nikki feud, it's gonna be predictable who wins that feud. It's gonna be obviously predictable. It's gonna be predictable at the end of the day. We got Roman versus Eric Rowan in a no disqualification match.
You know what? I'm gonna go for the wild card here. I'm gonna say Rowan.
I'm gonna say Rowan. So tell me how me and you have great minds thinking alike here. I got Rowan winning this matchup.
I got this funny feeling, bro.
I have a funny feeling. I don't know why I thought about this. What if Daniel Bryan was behind all of this with the attacks on Roman? What if Daniel was the one lying?
I'm glad you pointed that out, bro, because I was exactly what I was about to say. Because I feel like I said, remember how I mentioned that Rowan can be the end-all be-all with this attack?
Mm-hmm.
It could be Daniel Bryan, but I was thinking more towards Aleister Black.
It could. I was thinking about that just a couple of weeks ago, and I thought to myself,
Not Daniel Bryan.
It has to be somebody on the rise on this company. I think it could be Aleister, but what if it's Daniel? That's what I'm thinking here. What if it's Daniel?
Daniel, then he's in the same situation as Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You expect it, like it's obvious. You want to be someone who you don't expect.
Exactly.
And makes sense. Someone who's dark and mysterious, like Aleister Black.
Exactly. I think that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. But I'm gonna go with Rowan here. I think, like you said, the wild card factor.
Yeah, wild card factor. I'm going wrong.
And then on top of that, do you like how Roman Reigns so far is being booked after coming back from this whole cancer situation? Do you like how Roman's being booked so far?
So far, yes. I think I like how he's been booked right now. He's not being forced down our throats.
Like Seth Rollins?
I like how he's being involved in a storyline that we all can invest in.
Mm-hmm.
But, and another thing about that was the simple fact that he's not annoying as much. If they do decide to give him a title run of, like, whenever it comes, we know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not going to just shit on them from the jump. I'm just going to give it a chance to see where it goes.
I'll give it a chance too, but I said this last week on Monday. Vince is just itching hard to push Roman Reigns towards the WWE Championship. We all know this already. It's just only a matter of time before Roman wins the title. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. We got Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship.
You know what? I was going to go with Sasha, but I feel like it's way too soon. Like, I feel like this storyline is going to continue all the way through TLC. I really feel like that Becky Lynch could drop that TLC, but I did not see her drop that and clash the champion. So I'll go with Becky Lynch for the win.
Do you see Becky and Sasha competing at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell? At some point?
That's a possibility. That's a very good possibility to have. So I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too, but you know how the last time Sasha competed in Hell in a Cell, the match was terrible.
Yeah, I can see Sasha Banks winning that Hell in a Cell.
I could see that too, and I was just thinking that. Because I'm thinking to myself, we haven't seen Sasha in 4 months. We haven't seen her in 4 months. Why would they all of a sudden have Sasha come back and have her feud with Becky, because Becky has no one else to feud with? Because Ronda's still gone. So who else Becky has to feud with? Nobody. So they're bringing Sasha back. you're saying Becky is gonna retain at Clash of Champions, right?
Yep.
I got Sasha winning at Clash of Champions because if you think about it, you're not gonna book Sasha Banks in a Raw Women's Championship match against Becky Lynch for her to lose.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, she doesn't necessarily have to lose. Like, it could just be a fuck finish.
It could be a fuck finish, which will lead to Hell in a Cell.
Exactly.
Which can lead to Hell in a and at the same time, it keeps Sasha Banks strong. At the same time, it keeps her strong.
Exactly. That's what I was going with.
Now, one match that I completely don't give a fuck about, and obviously I know you don't either. Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz for the IC title.
Hell no. Not at all. Shinsuke Nakamura, bro. I said this on my review, bro. I said this straight on my review. I could care less about Shinsuke Nakamura right now, bro. And it's not his fault. It is not his fault.
It's not his fault. That's the only problem.
Where right now, I would rather have anybody be Intercontinental Champion than Nakamura right now.
Because Nakamura's not doing jack shit with the IC title.
Nothing with that title,
Nothing.
bro. So, I do believe the Miz is on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, I'm going Nakamura to retain.
I'm going Nakamura also. I'm going Nakamura.
Even though, you know what? I want the Miz to win. Honestly, I want to be wrong.
Yeah, for some reason I want to be wrong as well. For some reason I want to be wrong.
Because
For some reason I want to be wrong.
The Miz the babyface. I can't stand Nakamura right now.
I can't stand both men, to be honest with you. And that's a shame for me to say. Because you see Nakamura in NXT, he was a god in NXT. He was a god.
Bro, I just mentioned this the other day, bro.
He was a god in NXT, bro. He was a god in NXT. You see his matches against Sami Zayn back at NXT TakeOver Dallas. You see his matches against Samoa Joe. Who else? Bobby Roode. Against Bobby, how you fuck up? And I'm still asking this question to this day. How do you fuck up somebody like Bobby Roode? Can I just ask?
Vince McMahon.
How do you fuck up Bobby Roode? How do you fuck up most of these guys in NXT? It's just a shame. Now,
It is, bro.
knowing this company, and I can totally see this happen, they can give The Miz the IC title. And I'll tell you why. If The Miz wins the IC title on Sunday, you know who he's going to tie for the most IC title reigns ever? Chris Jericho. And what's Chris Jericho right now? The current AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
This company is so petty, bro. Petty.
See it, bro. I can see it.
I can completely see that happen on Sunday. I can see that happen.
I wouldn't mind it, though, because I can't stand Nakamura right now.
Exactly. Listen, I wanna ask this question. When is Nakamura's contract expiring? That's what I want to know. When is his contract expiring? That's what I would love to know. Because get him the fuck out of this company as soon as possible.
Bro, he should leave, bro.
Listen, either at this point, either get him out or send him back down to NXT at this point. At this point.
I prefer him going next year.
I prefer him going back to NXT. And speaking of NXT, I know that you cover Raw and SmackDown among others. Why don't you cover NXT?
That's a good question. Somebody asked me that like a week ago. Like, why don't come to NXT? But I'm gonna tell you exactly what I told him. Once NXT start rolling on television, start covering it.
It's next week too. It's next week.
So see next week.
You see the card for next week? You see the card for next week for NXT next week?
I ain't gonna see it yet.
It's Roderick Strong versus Velveteen Dream for the North American title.
Oh, you know what? I heard about that.
I'm actually gonna be good on Wednesday, bro. Next week, it's gonna be really good.
I'm expecting Roderick Strong to win.
Yeah, I'm expecting Strong to win. They're also booking a fatal four-way between Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair, and Mia Yim for a no more contender spot for the NXT Women's title.
I love that.
And also, they're booking Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane in a street fight next week on NXT.
Well, that's gonna be a battle.
It's gonna be a crazy show next week. A crazy show next week. Speaking of tag teams, and I love tag team wrestling, but at this point, I just don't care why this match is even happening. The New Day versus the Revival for the SmackDown tag team titles.
Oh my goodness.
Can I say predictable?
It's predictable. Like New Day all day, they gonna win.
New Day's gonna completely win. I mean, obviously, The Revival is the Raw tag team, but unless if they get moved to SmackDown during the draft, I don't really mind because SmackDown need tag teams as well.
You know what? Let me change that back. You know what? The Revival can win because I can see them and Randy Orton on the goal.
Oh, speaking of Orton versus Kofi, that's the next matchup. Orton versus Kofi for the WWE Championship.
Man, you know what someone's time is up, bro. And Kofi Kingston's time is way up.
His time has been passed in SummerSlam.
Randy Orton will be the new WWE champion at Clash Champion.
And I said this on, and I even remember this. I said this way back during WrestleMania review. If Kofi holds the championship past SummerSlam, it's a joke. It's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. I say this every single time on my SmackDown review, and I also say it on the podcast. Kofi Kingston is not my WWE champion anymore. He's just not. He's just not.
I love the moment when he won the title. Don't get me wrong. I love that moment when he won it, but you know when someone's time is up.
Yeah, you know someone's time is up, and his time was up at SummerSlam. His time was up at SummerSlam. SummerSlam should have been the perfect opportunity to give Orton the title, and I'm surprised that they didn't give it to him then. I was very surprised.
I guess they wanted to have Kofi on to it just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer, I guess.
But ain't worry about that no more. Sunday, game over.
I'm saying this now. If Kofi does not drop the championship on Sunday, I'm gonna be completely pissed off. I'm gonna be completely pissed.
I'm gonna be heated, bro. Cause think about it. If Randy Orton lose again, who else than Kofi to feud against? Shane?
Listen, if they put Shane against Kofi, my God. My God.
That's the end all be all.
That's the end all be all. That's the end all be all. It's over. That's the end all be all, folks, if that legitimately happens. That's the end all be all.
I don't want to hear nobody supporting that one.
That ass, I really don't. I really don't. I don't want to see anybody supporting Shane. Oh, boy. Twitter is going to be one toxic thing if Shane McMahon ever becomes WWE champion. Twitter's going to be more toxic than ever. Than ever.
Like the song, bro.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. There you go. We got a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship between Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carrillo versus Lindsay Dorado.
I'm gonna go with Drew Gulak.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gulak here, bro. I'm gonna go with Gulak also.
Yeah, I feel like this on a pay like this one. I feel like he's not gonna drop the title. Not at this pay.
And he's too good too. He's too good. Drew Gulak is way too good. Nobody talks about Drew Gulak, bro. Nobody talks about him at all. He's really good. He's so underrated.
Which I hear is could get canceled.
Yeah, I'm also hearing that the cruiserweights are gonna be moved to NXT.
That would be amazing.
And also NXT is gonna have their own title. It's gonna be called the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, from what I'm hearing.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
I would love the cruiserweights to be a part of NXT. Can you imagine the cruiserweights on a takeover show?
Bro, you want to talk about close to 5-star, all 5-star? There you go.
I think it breaks the scale, bro. I think it breaks the scale. I think it breaks the scale.
I just imagine it.
I got Drew Gulak retaining the title here. I got Drew Gulak retaining.
He gonna retain for sure.
Now, I know the SmackDown Tag Team title match and the what else? What other match do we say is predictable? Oh, the US title. Can this match get any more predictable? Bayley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Come on, bro. It's in North Carolina. Charlotte, she's the queen. You know what that means.
You know what that means, folks. You know what that means, folks. You know what that means.
10-time women's champions coming your way.
And
that's not a prediction.
That's a spoiler. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. You do know, and I read a report. Do you know why they turned Bayley heel?
What?
Because Vince thought, and he still thinks this to this day. Vince thinks that when it comes to Sunday, Charlotte is gonna be cheered and Bayley is gonna be booed. So technically, Vince only turned Bayley heel for just one night. For just one night. And it's just stupid.
That makes no sense.
You do know ever since Bayley turned heel, she came out to literally no reaction?
If you really think about it, Charlotte might get cheered anyway because it's in North Carolina. Then again, it is Charlotte.
She'll probably get the biggest pop of the night, if you ask me. She'll probably get the biggest pop of the night.
She might get a mixed reaction. I think she'll get some cheers and boos.
Yeah, I think she'll get some cheers, but knowing that the fact that it's in her hometown, she'll probably get, in my opinion, she'll probably get the biggest pop of the night, in my honest opinion.
Oh, for sure.
Now, obviously, yeah. Obviously, I got Charlotte I got Charlotte winning the title here. If Charlotte wins the SmackDown Women's Championship, who takes the title off of her?
Oh, that's a good. You really think about it, there's nobody.
There ain't really nobody, bro.
Because Ember Moon is buried, in my opinion. Asuka is buried, in my opinion.
Asuka's been buried, bro. Asuka's been buried since fucking TLC. No, since the Royal Rumble. Matter of fact, she's been buried. Asuka has been buried since Charlotte took the title from her 2 weeks before WrestleMania. She was buried.
I mean, I'm not going to say she was like that, but she was buried, but she wasn't like in the hole just yet, in my opinion. But I feel like that match she lost to Bliss and Nikki Cross, that like put the exclamation point on it. Kyrie saying.
That just put the exclamation point to everything, bro.
And just think about that, man. Alexa Bliss pinning Kyrie saying.
Just think about it. Like, under what planet does that make sense on? On what planet?
I'm just like, come on, Dudley. Really?
On what planet does that really make sense on? Like, I just really don't get it, bro. Like, Asuka, I mean, in my opinion, she's just buried. I mean, when was the last time we seen Asuka? If you really want to be honest here. When was the last time we seen Asuka?
I just brought it up. That tag team match that she lost to like this big drugs.
And how long ago was that? I think like a month, 2 months ago?
2 months ago?
I believe so. I have no idea, man. This company is sinking more faster than the fucking Titanic, bro.
And Manny Rose on the field, they not ready.
They're not ready yet. In my opinion, they're not ready.
So who else is left?
Knowing this company, they'll probably bring back probably the Bella Twins, if you ask me. I don't know, bro. Knowing this company, they'll probably bring back the Bella Twins, bro. Knowing this company.
I doubt it. I don't think they coming back.
I don't think so either. I mean, they should just stay gone. They should just stay gone, in my honest opinion.
I agree with you on that. like, come on, like, it's like, this women's division, like, that's another thing, like, you fix, like, outside the tag team, the women's division just.
Oh no, they need some serious fixing.
Like, for real, like, who else out there outside Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley?
Don't forget Ronda.
Oh, and Ronda.
Don't forget Ronda. Technically Ronda.
Like, who else is there?
I just want Vince to push Ruby Riott. That's what I want Vince to push.
She's hurt though, so.
Yeah, she's hurt. Yeah, she's hurt, but she won't come back until like early 2020. I from what I'm hearing, she won't come back until early 2020. That's what I'm hearing.
Ruby Riott Money in the Bank win.
Oh,
Like again.
that should have happened this year. Honestly,
No,
I remember that. I was like, yo, if Ruby Riott does not win, I'm gonna be pissed off. But who they gave it to? Bayley. And then they gave it to Bayley, and then for her to cash it in on the same night.
Yes, like I had it so perfect. Everything was written in the stars for her to be like the top hill.
But instead, they just gave it to Bayley. This company is just clueless, bro.
And I feel like that Bayley win, like it was good for her, but if you really think about it, at the end of the day, it really like was the wrong decision.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly agree with that.
Like on that night, like how rain has been, that was the wrong decision.
That I agree. I really agree with that.
In my opinion, she went to Mandy Rose.
Yeah, either Ruby or Mandy at least. At least Mandy was even a credible heel. She was a credible heel.
It fits them. It does fit the mold.
It does fit. Listen, the Money in the Bank briefcase is meant for a heel. It's meant for a heel.
Right.
It's really meant for a heel. I mean, just look at the past Money in the Bank winners. Edge, Seth Rollins, among others. Who else you got there that was a heel?
Everybody who came in was like a heel, and then made them like at that moment, like the star, like at that moment.
Oh yeah, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan.
Randy Orton.
That was the most perfect one. Was Orton? That was the most perfect one.
Oh,
Oh, Rollins too. Rollins was unforgettable. Rollins when he cashed in, that was unforgettable.
The thing about Rollins cashing though is that the moment when he won, I called it that night. He gonna cash at WrestleMania. I said, just wait. I told everybody, just wait.
I called it that night too, and then people called me stupid for it. I'm like, huh, wait, wait for it.
I said, just wait for it, y'all. Just wait, and then it happened. Boom.
People had called me stupid and like, oh, Rollins is not gonna cash in. Why would he cash in on Brock? You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
He cashed in, and he was that tight at the end of the night. It wasn't tight. Everybody was excited. Everybody was happy.
And that was a Seth Rollins that everybody loved. That was a Seth Rollins that everybody loved. I loved 2015 Seth Rollins, and last year too. Last year Rollins I loved the most.
Right, but now lately Rollins, I can't stand him, bro.
Rollins is being portrayed like Roman Reigns, if you ask me.
He's the new Roman Reigns.
He's right now the Roman Reigns right now.
And the thing is, I don't think a lot of people see it.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't see it.
Like, open your eyes. Like, look what's going on. Like, look at the agenda that they put for Seth Rollins right now. He's the next Roman.
Mm-hmm. He's being
Crazy. Like, you cannot see it. Like, the whole thing was Stone Cold just telling everybody how good Seth Rollins is. Like, he knows who Seth Rollins is. When we seen on his well, I think it was his podcast, he said it, or wherever he said it, he's like, who is Seth Rollins? Like, we don't know who Seth Rollins is. Like,
I think he said it on his podcast. I forgot who was with there, but I think he said it on his podcast.
Like, he was telling everybody like Seth Rollins was like, he felt he was like not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at it. Now look, Stone Cold got a new show out. He kind of gets show promoted in WWE. So what they trying to do? Put Seth Rollins over.
And another thing I didn't like what Vince did. He put Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's relationship on live television.
Oh no, don't get me started, bro.
That was the worst thing Vince ever did. That was the worst thing he ever did.
Bro, when I heard they first started dating, bro, I said, if they do that storyline, I'm done. I'm done if they do it. What did they do months later?
Within the week later.
Bro, they couldn't resist.
They couldn't resist. They couldn't resist.
That ate me alive. I could not stand that damn story.
I hated it as much as you did, bro. I completely hated it. I completely did.
Annoying. To a T, bro. That was annoying.
Now I gotta ask you. Yeah. Go ahead.
It was insane, bro.
No, it was completely insane. Completely insane. And I ain't like it. I ain't like it. I'm like, yo.
It was terrible.
Why are you bringing a real life relationship in live television? Even Becky said that she hated it. Even Becky said she hated it.
You could tell she was uncomfortable with it.
You could tell she was uncomfortable with it. You could clearly tell.
Like, Seth was okay with it, but she wasn't.
She clearly wasn't. I don't know why they put that on live television. As soon as they did that, they killed everything in Seth Rollins. They killed everything Seth Rollins. They killed everything. Everything they killed. Who?
I don't even blame Vince for this. I don't blame Vince for this.
I don't either. I don't either. Low key.
Because I've seen the fans eating this up on social media.
Mm-hmm.
How the man is dating the man, like all that bullshit. Like,
they even made a T-shirt out of it. And
you want to know why? Because I think the fans is the reason why that happened. WWE Code wanted what everybody was saying. Everybody was happy, but they were together. And that's exactly what they did. They put them on television. And everybody hated it.
Everybody hated it. Within a few weeks later, it just got off television. Fuck it. Don't really care. Speaking of Seth Rollins, he has 2 matches in one night.
My bad, bro.
Yeah. Go.
They said the fans, they gonna get to the fans. Well, there you go.
There you go. You wanted something that's all to put on live television? Go ahead.
There you go.
And now people hate it now. Voila. Ta-da! There you go, bro. Ta-da! All right, so speaking of Rollins, he has 2 matches in one night. Now, I don't know why they gave Rollins and Strowman the tag team titles. I don't know why.
No sense at all.
Make no sense, bro.
You got tag teams.
You have tag teams in this division, and you want to get the titles to Rollins and Strowman. For what reason? What's the reason behind this?
It was no reason. It was just like, it probably just a Seth Rollins agenda, bro.
Probably is. Probably is, low key.
What else could it be?
What else could it be, bro? You got Rollins and Strowman defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Another team that don't make sense.
A mischief tag team. Put it like that.
A team that failed for the first time ever and winning 4 matches in one night. How?
And it was terrible. That freaking tag team turmoil was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Like, where's the logic in that, bro? Like, you got a team that just started and they beat 4 quality teams.
And they beat former Raw Tag Team champions in the B team. They beat the B team too.
The worst is the last person they beat was Heavy Machinery.
It was Heavy Machinery. And mind you, Heavy Machinery was competing for the SmackDown Tag Team titles 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Raw Tag Team title match, Rollins and Strowman versus Ziggler and Roode.
I'm really expecting either or Braun have a miscue, and that's going to be to Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler win the tag team championship.
I think Strowman turns heel on Sunday. I think he turns heel on Sunday.
I can definitely see that, but we hearing a lot about this whole Fiend and Seth thing. But I think it's not going to happen just yet, even though I wanted to. But I don't think it's going to happen just yet. But I'm fully expecting maybe they might push Braun and Seth possibly to Hell in a Cell, maybe. So Seth might not turn heel until after the main event.
So this will lead to Rollins versus Strowman for the Universal Championship. Obviously, we know Rollins is going to retain the title. Obviously. Now, with this whole Fiend thing, now there's a lot of rumors going around. And Wyatt even brought this up during the Firefly Funhouse. He even brought this up about Hell in a Cell. I want this match to happen at Hell in a Cell. At the same time, you strike while the iron's hot. Now,
Exactly.
you do know that Wyatt's merchandise has been skyrocketing. Like, it's been selling out like this. Like his mask, his gloves and stuff. Like his puppets and shit. His t-shirts even sold out. I even tried to get it myself and then I couldn't get it.
I gotta get me one.
I have to get me a shirt, bro. I have to get me a shirt. What did you think about Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse on Raw Monday night, mentioning 11/19 with The Undertaker?
That's the thing, bro. Like, Survivor Series, 11/19, it can happen.
I'm even pushing Wyatt to retire Taker at Survivor Series, because if you really think about it, after what you did with Taker at WrestleMania 33, you can't top that. You cannot top that.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, I think that it should happen. Like, you really think about it, it should happen, bro. Because, like, you're just passing it on to the next generation.
And Wyatt is that perfect guy for the next generation. Why is that perfect guy?
He could be this generation Undertaker, in the sense, not like really the Undertaker.
No, not really the Undertaker. No, there wouldn't be no other Undertaker in this.
There will never be Undertaker
Ever.
The closest is House of Black.
Closest could be Aleister Black. I could sprinkle in Bray Wyatt there too. I could sprinkle in a little bit of Bray Wyatt. I could.
Yeah, for sure.
After the Fiend, I can certainly see Bray Wyatt being the next Undertaker. Well, not.
I can see it.
Yeah, I could see it also. Do you see Wyatt being a major player on Monday Night Raw in the future?
Hey, if they smart, he will be, and he should be, 100%.
I gotta agree with that, bro.
100%,
No.
bro. And I'm gonna say this right now to everybody who's listening. Bray Wyatt, no question, whether it was at the end of this year or beginning of next year, should be 100% the Universal Champion
Agree.
over everybody on Raw.
Especially Rollins, because Rollins, man. Oh my God! I found out the other day that Rollins blocked JD on Twitter. He blocked JD on Twitter. Yeah, he blocked JD on Twitter the other day. I was watching his interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he mentioned it. Oh, that Rollins hasn't blocked on Twitter. Rollins hasn't blocked on Twitter. I'm like, really? Wow.
I mean, like, hey, I'm not kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but at the same time. And mind you, JD was doing nothing but praising Rollins in 2018. He's been praising him like crazy last year. Now this shit, the way he's being booked, you had him beat Lesnar at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. I kind of see that's being shoved down our throats real quick, because did I want to see another Rollins-Lesnar match at SummerSlam? No, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. Brock should have never won Money in the Bank to begin with. He should have never won Money in the Bank to begin with. He should never won it. You know, the original winner was supposed to be Ali. Ali was supposed to win the Money in the Bank contract.
That's the thing, though. Ali not a heel.
He's not a heel. That's the thing. The thing with Ali, he's not a heel.
Like, so if he was not with the heavyweight, I wouldn't say that was the wrong decision, because Ali is the type of guy who should be fighting for the title, like chasing the title.
Like chasing the title as like a big baby face, as a big baby face.
He got him to be a big baby face.
I have really no idea.
Like they got, I don't get it. WWE has so much talent,
And
they don't know what to do with it.
and then they call people like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. Look what that did for both Raw and SmackDown at the Garden. Nothing. It didn't really do anything.
It's like WWE got all these fancy toys, but they just put it to the side and just play with the old dirty ones.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
You got people calling up from NXT and shit, and you don't use them. EC3, who knows what the heck he's doing? AOP, what are they doing, bro?
Is he still employed?
I mean, is he unemployed, or like what is he right now? Is he unemployed?
Like, I don't know. Like, he could be unemployed, like in a street corner, something hot.
He probably could be sitting in catering right now. Who knows? Who else you got in catering?
Like he was on the picture, like, damn, like I'm in the back of this on the backstage segment, like in the elevator with all truth and Carmella and
ridiculous. You got people like Apollo Crews, fucking. Who else you got there? You got a lot of people. The AOP, you got. Wait, who? Oh, I have no idea. Probably sitting in catering too. Who knows?
Yeah, like where's the quality tag team? Where are they?
The Colognes. Where's the Colognes at?
Right. Well, are they still employed?
They probably sitting in Puerto Rico right now in a fucking fancy hotel. Who knows? Who knows?
Get back in the ring.
Who knows?
Like, good God, man. Like, with these teams, there's so much talent, and they just don't know what to do with it. Like Sarah Logan's even complaining that she's tired of being on main event.
Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go.
I mean, like, she is very underrated.
Wait, who?
Sarah Logan.
Oh,
I think she's underrated.
she's underrated. She's very underrated. She's very underrated.
And people been pulling for Liv Morgan. They want to see more of her. Where she's at?
I think Liv Morgan. I think she's on SmackDown. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's on SmackDown.
Yeah, she is, but they not like showing her. Like, where is she?
I guess it's the women's agenda. If you don't have blonde hair, big tits, or long legs, you're not getting pushed. You're not getting pushed.
Oh man.
And speaking of fucked up shit, they fucked up the entire King of the Ring tournament, bro.
They did, bro.
They fucked up the entire King of the Ring tournament.
What did that King of the Ring do for anybody?
Nothing.
That was in it. Outside of Chad Gate.
Nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
Nothing. And I gotta ask, and I've been asking this ever since they introduced this tournament. What in the blue fuck are they fighting for? Are they fighting for a title shot? Are they fighting to see who gets the number 30 spot in the Rumble? What are they fighting for?
I'm just going to say they just fighting to become king. And when you become king, it's never going to come with it.
It's never going to come with it. It's never going to come with it.
Nothing.
Bad News Barrett won the freaking King of the Ring. What did I do for him? Nothing. Sheamus? You can say Sheamus. It did something for Sheamus. You can say that. I miss Sheamus. Speaking of Sheamus. I think probably U.S. title run, I believe. I think a U.S. title run, if I'm not mistaken. I think a U.S. title run.
I think so.
I'm not mistaken. I think it was a U.S. title run. I'm not really too sure. But they fucked up this whole King of the Ring tournament, bro. They fucked everything. Now, don't get me wrong. The matches were really, really good. I'm not going to lie to you. The match of the entire tournament has to be either Ricochet and Drew McIntyre or I don't know what other match that was so good. Oh, Ali versus
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, Ali and Buddy Murphy.
And I was just about to get to that. Where is Buddy Murphy? Why are you not training with the Iron's hot?
I don't know, bro. I really don't know.
You want to pick somebody from any kind of championship? It should have been Buddy Murphy, not the Miz.
If anything, I could see Buddy Murphy as a future IC champion. I could.
I do, bro. Like, I was really pushing that. I was saying, like, Buddy Murphy is a perfect opportunity to take that title of Nakamura and put it on something like a Buddy Murphy.
He's got the look for an IC championship. He's got the look for it. And he's really good in the ring. He's really good.
Really good.
He's fantastic in the ring.
Classic with guys like Andrade, Ali, you know?
I could see him. I could see him against Randy sometime. I could see Buddy Murphy versus Randy Orton at some time. If they really want to push him. I wouldn't mind that. Buddy Murphy chasing the WWE Championship. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, just imagine, bro. Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black.
Oh, my God.
Just think about it. A heel Aleister Black versus a babyface Buddy Murphy.
A babyface that somebody can get actually behind. Yeah.
Yes.
I can totally see that. I can totally see that.
My God, bro.
So, I mean, we spoke a lot in this freaking review, man. This is
we got two geniuses talking wrestling. Hey, anything can pop.
two geniuses, bro. Two geniuses. All right, TM, you got anything else to say? How can people reach to you on social media? How can they hit you up on social media?
On social media, on Twitter at Taylor-Myers95. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, TM161 YouTube channel. Instagram, Naruto161. That's about it, bro.
All right, there you guys have right there. TM, thank you, bro, and I'll talk to you on Twitter, bro.
All right, bro. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Shout out to the Reality Podcast. Shout out to your boy Chris, man. Yo, shout out to this boy, man. He's doing big things, bro. Like the thumbnail, like the work he puts through in and out, man. Man, subscribe to him.
It's all Cyrex, bro. All Cyrex, man. All Cyrex.
You will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. TM, thank you, bro. Talk to you later, bro.
No problem, bro.
You got it, bro. That was TM, guys, man. Listen. 48 minutes of a conversation with TM, bro. You cannot go wrong with that. You really cannot go wrong with that. Now, that was it with the Classic Champions preview and predictions, man. Like I said, guys, TM is a really good guy. He's my brother, man. When I first started YouTube, man, TM was the guy to talk to, man. I spoke to TM, man. Ever since then, bro, he's been there for me for day one. We support each other on our YouTube channels and shit. Subscribe to my boy TM, man. His Twitter, his Instagram, and his Twitter will be down below in the description, guys. Hit a subscribe for TM. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram, man. There you guys go. Now we're going to go over with the entire news and rumors and stuff that I got here. We're going to kick off the news portion of the podcast with this information about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, man. As you guys know, back on, I believe, Tuesday after SmackDown went off the air, KO tweeted 14-24-20. I'm going to go over that right now as I find the news here on the podcast. If I can find the news here. Because listen, guys, there's a bunch of news that I got here, man. There's a bunch of news. There's a bunch of fucking news that I got here. I got to find this Kevin Owens story. Because I want to go over the other news here. Here we go. Kevin Owens could be headed back to NXT. Kevin Owens was fired during the conclusion of SmackDown Live this week. That doesn't mean he's out of WWE entirely. Owens didn't spend much time in NXT, even though he became the NXT champion. KO was actually holding the NXT title when he made his main roster debut back in 2015. After Owens was fired by Shane McMahon on SmackDown this week, he tweeted out something very interesting. He sent out 3 numbers in a tweet, but those numbers could signify something very interesting. 14, 24, 20. If you break down the placement of each letter in the alphabet with the numbers, Owens tweeted it, spells out NXT. This wasn't lost on fans, therefore it seems like Owens is teasing an NXT return. Let's just see what happens. But if Owens ends up coming over to NXT for reasons, it could definitely create a must-see television situation. If you're going to bring back Kevin Owens to NXT, you have to have him as a heel. Right off the bat, as a heel. I do not want to see babyface Kevin Owens in NXT. The KO that we got on SmackDown, I loved. I love KO when he was up. He was a heel, went to babyface, now he's back into a heel. If he goes down to NXT, he's got to be a heel. People were even telling me, if KO was to go back to NXT, does he become a 5th member of Undisputed Era? I wouldn't put that out the possibility, to be honest with you. I wouldn't put that out there as the possibility. As the possibility. KO joining Undisputed Era. Or, I've had people tell me, KO is going to be in NXT just in time for War Games. Can you imagine Kevin Owens competing at War Games? A body type like Kevin Owens that's doing all these type of stunts and these cannonballs and shit off the fucking top rope. Can you imagine on top of a fucking steel cage? You can't go wrong with that. You really can't. You really can't. I'm going to open Kevin Owens back to NXT in open arms. I'm going to bring him back with open arms because with NXT competing with AEW on the Wednesday Night Wars, you're going to need somebody, especially a main roster name, that's going to raise the bar in NXT. Kevin Owens is that guy. Kevin Owens is that guy. Let me guys know down in the comment section, would you be open for a Kevin Owens return back down to NXT? When WWE is considering Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker confrontation, Bray Wyatt's cryptic promo on Raw led some to believe he was pointing his gloved finger at The Undertaker as his next opponent. That could very well be the plan, though. Brad Shepard noted on the All You Didn't Know podcast that's just because the company didn't have any kind of confrontation with The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt doesn't mean it's not happening. In fact, there are apparent plans for a collision soon enough. This is what Brad Shepard said on his podcast, and I quote, "Why didn't they have The Fiend attack The Undertaker on SmackDown Live?" I was talking to Brad Shepard about that this past Tuesday. They kept them separate so they could continue to build. Right now, the plan is for the confrontation to take place on the inaugural SmackDown on Fox. Again, you know how this works. Vince McMahon can get a wild hair up his ass and decide to change it tomorrow or literally in 10 seconds. But that is definitely what was discussed as of today. End quote. October 4th will be the next time The Undertaker is scheduled to make a return during SmackDown's Fox debut in the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Let's just see if Taker ends up eating a Mandible Claw or Sister Abigail. It's also important to remember that since Hell in a Cell is going down on October 6th, that means the big SmackDown debut on Fox will also be a go-home show. Bray Wyatt could end up in a Universal title match on the October 6th pay-per-view. That would definitely make it even more interesting to see him appear on Fox to take out the Dead Man days before a title opportunity. You need to strike while the iron is hot, folks. You really do. You need to strike while the iron is hot with Bray Wyatt. And I spoke about this with TM. He even said himself, you need to strike while the iron is hot. You need to strike Bray Wyatt while he's hot. Bray Wyatt is the hottest thing right now in WWE. Can you imagine Bray Wyatt being the guy to retire The Undertaker at Survivor Series? Listen, the Firefly Funhouse on Raw Monday Night had a big reason. Had a very big reason It had a big reason. Everything that you see on the Firefly Funhouse has a meaning. Has at least a meaning to it. I would have Bray Wyatt be the guy at Survivor Series to retire The Undertaker. And I even said it on the interview with TM. You don't replace what you did to Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. You don't do that. You don't do that. You just don't do that with Taker and then you top it with something else. No. Keep it the way it is. Keep it the way it is. You have Bray Wyatt as the Fiend retire The Undertaker at Survivor Series. Can you imagine that? How it would do for Bray Wyatt, the Fiend's career? And on top of that, Taker is behind this whole Fiend character. Taker is behind this whole entire Firefly Funhouse. He's behind it. When it first came out about that, there was a report that Taker, Triple H, and Jason Jordan was behind this whole entire Fiend character and his Firefly Funhouse. People, you really got to think about that. It's a possibility, folks. It's a very possibility. Do I see Bray Wyatt coming into SmackDown? Yeah. Yeah. Before his potential Hell in a Cell match on October 6th against Seth Rollins for possibly the Universal Championship. We got to see what happens after Sunday. After Sunday, after Classic Champions is over, then we'll see what happens. Does Bray Wyatt show up after Classic Champions? I hope he does. Now, what really pissed me off, and this is a topic that I want to talk about here. This is something that really pissed me off. Bray Wyatt's Fiend character appeared at the SmackDown Live back on Tuesday. Bray Wyatt showed up in front of a almost half-empty crowd at Madison Square Garden. I ranted on this during SmackDown Review back on Tuesday. Go ahead and check it out. By the way, I haven't even plugged everything right now that I have in my I haven't even plugged everything. So I'm just gonna plug it right now. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below what you guys thought so far of the podcast. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for notifications. NXT review live on the channel right now. SmackDown Live review as well, live on the channel right now. Monday Night Raw review as well as episode 57 and the NBA 2K20 My Team Snipe Filter video that's live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at Chris from Loring on Twitter and Chris was hated on Snapchat. And there you guys go. Monday we do Raw review. Tuesday SmackDown Live. Wednesday NXT. Crash Team Racing on Thursdays. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we do episodes of the Reality Podcast right here on the channel. Now back to the topic that I was just talking about here. They had Bray Wyatt perform against the B Team in a dark match in a half-empty Madison Square Garden crowd. I ranted on this because you had Taker show up on SmackDown Tuesday. For what reason? Now, for what reason? You had Taker to show up to chokeslam Sami Zayn. What's that going to do for him? Nothing. The only thing Taker did was collect the paycheck. That's all he did. All he did was to collect a simple paycheck. You could have had Bray Wyatt attack Taker on SmackDown, but I get now why you want to have that SmackDown on October. On what is it? I think it was October the 4th, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 4th, right? When is SmackDown debut? Yeah, October 4th. Now I get why they didn't do Wyatt and Taker on SmackDown. Because they're going to save it for that show. They're going to save it for the October 4th show on Fox, which I completely now understand. Because what's the point? Now that I'm really thinking about this, what's the point of having Wyatt attack Taker now? We can do it at a bigger impact on the first SmackDown on Fox on October 4th. Now I know why. But still, you had Bray Wyatt perform in front of an MSG half-empty crowd against the B Team? I don't understand that. I really don't. If that was the case, you should have never showed him up on Tuesday night. If that was the case. If you was going to bring Bray Wyatt to MSG, you might as well not bring him. You might as well not. Although, somebody like Bray Wyatt does deserve to be in front of Madison Square Garden. A character like Bray Wyatt, he deserves to be in front of Madison Square Garden. So there you guys go. There's also a huge AEW chant breakout at Madison Square Garden. This was happening during the Shane McMahon Chad Gable match. I don't blame you guys, AEW. I don't blame you. I don't blame you whatsoever. I really don't blame you whatsoever. Possible reason why WWE moved King of the Ring to Monday Night Raw. Possible reason why World Wrestling Entertainment moved the King of the Ring finals. Now, the company has been plugging the King of the Ring tournament for over a month, but now they suddenly changed the date of the finals. It was announced at the end of SmackDown's Tuesday show on SmackDown Live that the finals would take place on Monday's Raw broadcast from Knoxville, Tennessee. Of course, that is not what the company's social media team put out there, which confused a lot of fans. This change is official, which means the King of the Ring final is not a Clash of Champions anymore. When asked why this change was made, Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer newsletter simply noted to the fact that the Clash of Champions card already has 12 matches. Therefore, cutting one seemed like a good idea. This is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote, "Show would have had 12 matches, so cutting one is a good idea," end quote. It is rather interesting after Elias was injured that the company switched the King of the Ring final match from Clash of Champions to Sunday to the following Monday on Raw. Let's just see how much attention they get from this point on, but if the idea dwindles, then Elias could have possibly been the purpose of this tournament. Now, there is a legit source that said that Elias is hurt. He does have an ankle injury, but out of everybody else that you could have replaced, you gave me Shane McMahon. You immediately there fucked up the entire tournament. Now, obviously, we know who's going to win the tournament on Monday. I'll be shocked if they give it a fucking Chad Gable. Then I'll be shocked. I'll be completely fucking shocked if Chad Gable wins the entire tournament on Raw Monday night. Meanwhile, Chad Gable should have gotten a bye in the tournament going into the finals immediately because of what happened to Elias. Elias suffered an injury, I believe, during a house show, from what I heard. Elias suffered an ankle injury. You should have just gave Chad Gable a bye into the finals. Same way they should have gave Baron Corbin a bye to the finals because Ricochet and Samoa Joe had a draw. Oh, but you want to give them a triple threat match, which made no sense. You should have gave Corbin and Gable a bye straight into the finals. Instead, you want to give me Shane McMahon just to play off this whole Shane KO situation of Shane firing KO on SmackDown Live back on Tuesday. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I really fucking don't. But, we all know who's going to win the King of the Ring tournament anyways. Like TM mentioned, King Corbin is going to come true on Raw Monday night. It's going to come true on Raw Monday night. It really is. It's going to come true. Speaking of bringing back, WWE bringing back the two-man commentary team. WWE, you got my seal of approval. You really do. WWE has 2 new television deals starting next month, and another one with NXT on the USA Network is starting in 7 days. Or should I say right now, 6 days? 6 days. Well, right now, 5 as I'm recording this right now, 5. This should bring some huge changes across the board. WrestleVotes reports that the changes to commentary are going to alter things in a big, big way. This will also impact Raw. Now, hear this out. As it turns out, fans could see a return of the 2-man commentary booth, as so many have asked for. This is what WrestleVotes tweeted on Wednesday. Hearing that significant changes are coming to the commentary teams once the SmackDown to Fox move happens in a few weeks. All shows will be impacted, including Raw. A source has said the return of the 2-man booth is coming, end quote. If Renee Young becomes exclusive to the upcoming FS1 talk show, then that could leave Corey Graves and Michael Cole to call the action as a duo. We'll have to wait and see what happens because Graves will need to land on one exclusive brand himself. So there you guys go. Now, this is from what I'm hearing. They're going to cancel 205 Live. They're going to put all the cruiserweights to NXT. Good. That's good on their own right. This is from what I've been told from multiple people on Twitter. The Raw commentary team will be Vic Joseph and Tom Phillips. Good. When we heard Vic Joseph on Raw just a few weeks back, he sounded really, really good. And he did a fantastic job. Hearing Vic Joseph on Raw just gave me this sense of fresh air. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing Michael Cole and Corey Graves on Monday Night Raw. Tired of it. And on top of that, Renee Young. Tired of it. So Vic Joseph and Tom Phillips will be the commentary team for Monday Night Raw. SmackDown, from what I'm hearing, is going to be Michael Cole and Corey Graves on SmackDown. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. We're so used to hearing Michael Cole's voice on SmackDown back in the day. I wouldn't mind hearing his voice on SmackDown. I wouldn't mind that at all. If you ask me, I wouldn't really mind it. And Corey Graves, he's one hell of a commentator. And he's funny too. He's really funny. And then NXT, we're going to get obviously Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness. Do they keep the 3-man team with Beth Phoenix? I don't mind Beth Phoenix. I don't really mind if NXT does stick to the 3-person team. I don't mind it. But then again, I want to see Mauro and Nigel do their thing on NXT, especially with TakeOver. You know how they do on TakeOver. They do really, really good on TakeOver. They sell the entire show on TakeOver. And just hearing Mauro's voice on NXT, man, it just warms my heart. It really does. It warms my heart. So there you go. They're going back with the 2-man team. I don't really mind it. Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you guys really mind it? Or would you rather stick to the 3-person team? I'm going to end the podcast here with just two more notes here. 2 more notes here to end the podcast here. What do I have for you over here? What do I have? All right. What do I have over here? Obviously, with this whole AEW thing, we'll go over that tomorrow on the podcast. We'll go over that tomorrow. I have no idea what else to give you guys. Oh, I got this one here. Some AEW news here. Cody Rhodes said AEW Full Gear title match could change. AEW Full Gear will go down on November 9th, and there is a big main event set for the AEW World title. But that match could possibly change. Chris Jericho is set to put his AEW World title on the line against Cody Rhodes in Baltimore at AEW's next pay-per-view event on November 9th. During AEW's recent Road to TNT, Cody Rhodes sat down with Tony Schiavone for a chat. During that time, they talked about how serious Rhodes is for not only Full Gear, but the idea that wins and losses matter more than ever in all elite wrestling. This is what Cody Rhodes said, and I quote, "I'm not going on to Full Gear and Baltimore if I lose to Sammy Guevara. You know, classic card subject to change situation. If I take a loss to Sammy, that changes the title match. If Chris Jericho takes a loss to Philadelphia, that changes the match as well." End quote. Cody Rhodes revealed that if he loses his match against Sammy on the debut episode of AEW on TNT, that means he's out of the big title match on November 9th. And the same is true for Chris Jericho if he loses in Philadelphia. He didn't seem to waver on those statements in the slightest. The wins and losses will matter in All Elite Wrestling, unlike any other pro wrestling company we've seen so far. WWE. It will be very interesting to see how far All Elite Wrestling takes that idea as they carry on. You know, I'm going to have to agree with Cody here. I'm not going to single out to you. I'm going to have to agree here with Cody Rhodes on this one. Not going to lie to you. I'm going to have to. Give me a second here. Okay, there you go. I'm not going to lie to you here. I'm going to have to agree with Cody. Wins and losses should matter in All Elite Wrestling. Same thing, it should matter during NXT. It should matter. This should completely matter. Now, we all know Cody is going one-on-one with Sammy Guevara on AEW on October 2nd, on Wednesday, which is obviously in a couple weeks from now. Jericho is going to defend the AEW World Championship in Philadelphia against two. We still don't know who Jericho is going to defend the title against. Maybe Pac. Possibly Pac. Who knows? Possibly Pac. We don't know yet. For what I'm going to sit here and assume on is possibly going to be Pac. I don't see anybody else in AEW. I don't see possibly anybody else. Who knows? It could be Pac. It could be anybody else. But Pac beat Omega. So, you're really going to book Pac against Jericho for the AEW World title? And then Pac doesn't want to lose at all. Pac doesn't want to lose. Who you book against Jericho for the first title defense? I don't even know who. I don't even know. Low key. I don't even know who. I honestly don't know. But Cody does bring up a good point. What if he loses to Sammy on October 2nd? What if Jericho loses the AEW title before Full Gear in Philadelphia on the title defense that Jericho is going to defend the title on in Philadelphia? What if Jericho loses then? What if Jericho loses? What if Cody loses to Sammy? Does Sammy get a title shot? I think he does. Because Cody right now, Cody is the number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. He's right now the number one contender. You got to ask that question. What if he does lose to Sammy Guevara? Then same thing for Jericho. What if Jericho loses the title before Full Gear? That match can happen. It can happen. I just got to ask, who would Jericho defend the title against? If I have to make a guess here, it'll probably be against Pac. You can't do it against Omega. You can't do Jericho versus Omega. You can't do that. You can't. Because Omega lost twice. Omega's lost twice. Who else in AEW can Jericho defend the title against? Dustin, maybe? No, Dustin already lost a match already. I don't know. It's a really good question there. But Cody did bring up a good point there. He really does bring up a very good point. Finally, guys, to end the podcast here for episode 58, we are an hour and 12 minutes in. So far, I think this is my longest podcast so far on the channel. So far. Toni Storm. I'm going to end this news here with Toni Storm. Toni Storm possibly slated to brand change in WWE. I'm hearing she might go to NXT. I'm hearing she might just go to NXT. Toni Storm is a former NXT UK Women's Champion, but it appears she could be leaving the United Kingdom brand behind. Warriors Entertainment needs star power on NXT as they make a move to the USA Network. This is why PW Insider reports that Warriors Entertainment is heavily leaning towards keeping her on NXT from this point onward. This is what PW Insider reported, and I quote, There's been a lot of talk in the last week that Toni Storm will be featured more in NXT going forward as opposed to NXT UK. End quote. We'll have to wait and see if Toni Storm ends up becoming a mainstay in NXT as they embark on the USA Network. We previously reported that the company is going to do the same for Pete Dunne as he is in the process of moving residences. We'll go over the Pete Dunne story tomorrow. I'm hearing that he's going to be staying in NXT as a mainstay. That's what I'm hearing. We'll go over that tomorrow on episode 59 of the Reality Podcast. But Toni Storm, I think if Toni Storm ends up in NXT, it's going to build up the women's division for NXT that much better. I mean, look who you have. You got Shayna. You got Rhea. You got Io. You got Candice. You got Dakota Kai that's coming up. You got Mia Yim. Toni Storm can simply make that. Bianca Belair as well. Toni Storm's going to be a big player in NXT. She's going to be a big player in NXT on the Wednesday Night Wars because Toni Storm, she's that good. She's that good. Oh, and did I forget to mention that she's beautiful as well? She's gorgeous. She's a perfect 10 out of 10. Just perfect. Absolute perfection. It's Toni Storm. But she's really, really good in the ring. She's really good. She can cut a good promo. She's going to be a big player in NXT on the Wednesday Night Wars against AEW. And also the fact that Gargano is also staying there as well. So there you go from there. I don't mind Toni Storm in NXT. I don't mind it, but let's see what happens in the coming weeks. And that, folks, is the reality of things right here on episode 58 of the Reality Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, smash the like button, leave a comment down below. What do you guys thought of the podcast? Also, I want to give a big shout out to TM. Thank you, brother, so much for joining me on this interview, bro. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope we do this again somewhere down the road. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn on both guys for notifications. NXT review live on the channel right now, as well as SmackDown Live review, Monday Night Raw review, episode 57 of the Reality Podcast, and as well an NBA 2K20 My Team Snipe filter video. All these videos will be in the annotation above that you see in the top right corner of your screen, right on top in the annotation that is above on the right hand corner of your screen. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you guys are following me on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring. Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn on those bells, guys, for notifications, as we are on the road to 200 subscribers right here on the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 59 of the Reality Podcast, where we go over more news and rumors right here on the channel. Till then, I am Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video all over social media. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 59 of the Reality Podcast. So then, I am Chris. Talk to you guys later.